or subscribed from my last video. You truly don't know how happy, 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 happy you made me this week. I posted and then I kind of just let it be because I was scared, and it eased my heart so much when I got back on to my YouTube these are also, yeah, this is from Trader Joe's. So, let's light this bad boy up. Didn't make any fun noises, but it smells delicious. And it's gonna be like an extra little, did that even make a difference? Who knows? But it's gonna add to the ambiance. I wish I had a little table right here, but it's gonna go down here. Perfect. Perfect. The next thing that I brought to the party for the cozy vibes, the cozy fall Halloween vibes, is this cup. I don't know how well you can see it because I wanted to go for a warmer, more cozy lighting. But it has pumpkins. It has pumpkins all over it. It is a very beautiful orangey gold color. I wanted tonight to be all about the cozy vibes. I took a cozy pumpkin bath with the bath bomb from my last video, the pumpkin fairy bath bomb. I put on some pumpkin body butter afterwards. I did my skincare. I washed and braided my hair for this video. And now I am going to pour myself a Henry Hotspur's hard pressed for cider. YouTube, I'm 22 years old. Okay, don't come for me. I also got this from Trader Joe's. I don't remember if I literally just said that, but I also got this from Trader Joe's. Love that place so much. 12 fluid ounces. ASMR color with me, Madison Jane. Madison Jane. Madison Jane. It should pop up. I will try and link her channel in the description if I can figure it out. I am very, 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 very new here. It took me forever to upload my last video. I feel like I sound so silly, but it took me a minute. So if I can, I will link her channel in the description. Oh, but we are doing trunk or treat together, and our car theme is Harry Potter. So we are dressing up as Harry and Ron. We are going to be Harry and Ron. And I'm so excited. And then on actual Halloween, I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing yet. If I dress up, I will probably be the dragon from Shrek, because I went to a Shrek rave back in July, and I bought a costume for it. I was the dragon, so I think I will just rewear my costume. Is Woodstock on here? No, just... Oh, the Woodstock is on here. He's teeny tiny. I don't know. Oh, there he is. Woodstock. We painted Woodstock. And we painted a little moon and a pumpkin patch with bats in the Peanuts style. She has a shirt that is Peanuts. It has Snoopy in the middle, but because we had already done a Snoopy pumpkin, we just did the moon and the bats and pumpkins. And it was so fun. I love to paint pumpkins. In fact, the next bag, or I would love to have another Halloween bag, shoot. The next item in my bag of treasures is this little pumpkin I painted with my best friend Maddie. On her pumpkin, she actually also painted Linus from the Peanuts. My pumpkin is a ghost and bats and candy, gold sparkles, and where are they? They're not really showing up, but I also added some worms. The other worm is at the top. They're pink, but in this dim, warm, cozy light, they kind of blend in. I love the sound of pumpkins. I have a few more real pumpkins in my room. Little teeny tiny baby pumpkins in my room on my bookshelf. And I have just been tapping them non-stop. Like, I just look like a crazy person probably sitting in my room on my bed, up there on my bed going... I could do this for hours. There is just something about a real fresh pumpkin that heals my soul a little bit. But I love to paint them rather than carve them because they last longer when you paint them. No hate to carving. I think carving pumpkins is so fun. But, oh, and there's also little candy corns. But they also kind of blend in this light. But this is my pumpkin. My cute little ooky, spooky pumpkin. My teeny tiny, my itty bittiest, ooky, spookiest pumpkin on my bookshelf I named Percy the pumpkin. He is about this big. Like, he's probably about that big. He's tiny. He's a teeny tiny, ooky, spooky pumpkin named Percy the prefect pumpkin, after Percy from Harry Potter. Because again, me and my best friend are reading Harry Potter right now. I had to name him after Percy. And now for the final ooky spooky surprise. The final ooky just, yeah, like classic, like Bram Stoker, Edgar Allan Poe. I think there's a Charles Dickens story in here. Let's see. So, classic. Horror. Tales. Classic horror tales. Fun story about how I acquired this book. Fun story. I work in a restaurant as a waitress. I served this very lovely, lovely, lovely lady and her granddaughter. I think her granddaughter was about 12 years old. And she left this book behind. And I ran out into the parking lot with it. Hey, excuse me. I was too late. I was waiting at the front of the restaurant because in the parking lot you can either leave out or come up and over. And so I was at the front of the restaurant and I was hoping they would come up, 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 and over, over, over. They did not. They backed out and went out. And so I was sad because they were extremely sweet. It was a very sweet little girl and her grandmother. So I left a note on this book and I left it at work. And I expected, because the little girl seemed very engrossed in this book, I was expecting them to come back for it. Well, 2 days passed, 5 days passed, a week passed, 2 weeks passed, 2 weeks passed. Or maybe it wasn't that long. I think it was just a week. It was about a week. And they never turned up. They never called. Nothing. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take this home. And if they ever show up looking for the book, I would gladly bring it back. But I ended up taking it home because knowing my job, they would have just thrown it away. So now I have this very lovely book. I am going to read you a extremely classic story. I am going to read you The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe to finish our cozy, ooky, spooky night together. Okay, this is The Telltale Heart. Let me scoot up. So is it okay? Is it okay if I get a little closer? Is that okay? Okay. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous. I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. It is impossible to say how the first idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object there were none. Passion there was none. I loved the old man, had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. days. Very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now, this is the point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. But you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation. I hope I said that word right. I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. And every night about midnight I turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh so gently, and then, when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, that no light shone out, and then I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening so far that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. Ha! Would a madman have been so wise as this? And then, when my head was well in the room, I undid the lantern cautiously, oh so cautiously, for the hinges creaked. I undid it so much that a single thin ray fell upon the vulture's eye. And this I did for 7 long nights, every night, just at midnight. But I found the eye always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And every morning when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring how he has passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man, indeed, to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he slept. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. Never before that night had I felt the extent of my own powers, of my sagacity. Let me know if you know the word. I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph to think that there I was, opening the door little by little, and he not even to dream of my secret deeds or thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me, for he moved in bed suddenly, as if startled. Now you may think that I drew back, but no. His room was as black as pitch, with the thick darkness, for the shutters were close fastened through the fear of robbers. And so I knew that he could not see the opening of the door, and I kept pushing it on steadily. I had my head in, and was about to open the lantern, when my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening. The old man sprang up in bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I kept quite still and said nothing. For a whole hour I did not move a muscle, and in the meantime I did not hear him lie down. He was still sitting up in bed listening, just as I have done night after night, hearkening to the death watches in the wall. Presently I heard a slight groan, and I knew it was the groan of mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or of grief. Oh no. It was the low, stifled sound that arises from the bottom of the soul when overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well. Many a night, just at midnight, when all the world slept, it was welled up from my own bosom, deepening with its dreadful echo. force that distracted me. I say I knew it well. I knew what the old man felt, and pitied him, although I chuckled at heart. I knew that he had been lying awake ever since the first slight noise, when he had turned in the bed. His fears had ever since been growing upon him. He had been trying to fancy them causeless, but could not. He had been saying to himself, "It is nothing but the wind in the chimney." It is only a mouse crossing the floor, or it is merely a cricket which has been made a single chirp. Yes, he had been trying to comfort himself with these suppositions, but he had found all in vain, because death in approaching him had stalked with his black shadow before him and enveloped the victim, and it was a mournful influence of an unperceived shadow that caused him to feel, although he never saw nor heard, to feel the presence of my head within the room. When I had waited a long time very patiently, without hearing him lie down, I resolved to open a little, very, very little crevice in the lantern. So, I opened it. You cannot imagine how stealthily, until at length a simple dim ray, like the thread of a spider, shot out from the crevice and fell upon the vulture eye. It was open, wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all a dull blue, with a hideous veil over it that chilled the very marrow in my bones. But I could see nothing else of the old man's face or person, for I had directed the ray as if by instinct precisely upon the damned spot. And I have not told you that what you mistake for madness is but over-acuteness of the sense. Now I say, there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage. But even yet, I refrained and kept still. I scarcely breathed. I held the lantern motionless. I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray upon the eye. Meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker, and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, I say, louder every moment. Do you mark me well? I have told you that I am nervous, so I am. And now, at the dead hour of the night, amid the dreadful silence of that old house, so strange a noise as this excited me to uncontrollable terror. Yet, for some minute longer, I refrained and stood still, but the beating grew louder. I thought the heart must burst, but now a new anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and leaped into the room. He shrieked once, only once. In an instant, I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. I then smiled gaily to find the deed so far done. But for many minutes, the heart beat on with a muffled sound. This, however, did not vex me. It would ceased. The old man was dead. I removed the bed and examined the corpse. Yes, he was stone dead. I placed my hand upon the heart and held it there many minutes. There was no pulsation. He was stone dead. His eye would trouble me no more. If you still think me mad, you will think so no longer when I describe the wise precautions I took for concealment of the body. Then I waned and I worked hastily but in silence. First of all, I dismembered him. I cut off the head and the arms and the legs. I then took up 3 planks from the floor of the chamber and deposited all between the scantlings. I then replaced the boards so cleverly, so cunningly that no human eye, not even his, could have detected anything wrong. There was nothing to wash out, no stain of any kind, no blood spot whatever. I had been too wary for that. A tub had caught all. Ha, ha. When I made an end of these labors, it was 4 o'clock, still dark as midnight. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what I had to fear. There entered 3 men who introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Information had been lodged at the police office. And they, the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled, for what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. I showed them his treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought the chairs into the room and desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I was singularly at ease. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chatted of familiar things, but ere long I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But they still sat and still chatted. The ringing became more distinct. It continued, and became more distinct. I talked more freely to get rid of the feeling, but it continued and gained definiteness until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears. No doubt I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently and with a heightened voice. Yet the sound increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound. A low, dull, quick sound. Much a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officers heard it not. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise steadily increased. I arose and argued about trifles in a high key with violent gesticulations, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observations of men, but the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, I dug the chairs upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards, but the noise arose all over and continually increased. It grew because I